Welcome back, everybody. This is Dylan with DS for Dyslexia, also known as Dyslexic Dylan, with the one and only Natalie Nichole, the best-selling author, the overall entertainer, the musician, and actress. Welcome, Natalie.
Hi. What's up?
Another day in paradise, right? We are blessed tonight to be interviewing you and asking you your. So my show is all about motivation, dyslexia, but mainly over defying all the odds and figuring out ways and paths to overcome things that we need to overcome, and how to stay going instead of stop. Some people sink, some people float, fall out of the nest. Are you going to fall on your face and fly back up, or lay on your head? And you've done more than just fly out. You've soared out with turbos on your back.
I try.
So what is the key to your motivation?
Man, the key to my motivation is to motivate others. That's part of it. To also let people know that you can get through the most difficult things and survive them, and not just survive them, be happy regardless of how they made you feel. So for me, the motivation that keeps me going is to know that I'm able to touch people, and of course, just my calling in general. Like, I feel like God called me to just be who I am, and all of the things that I do are some of that. So that's pretty much it. Just making sure I leave my mark and impact as many people as I possibly can in a positive way.
Awesome. So a little background on you is you did live in a car.
I did.
You lived in a car.
Yeah, 11 months.
So you lived in a car, and you still kept pushing. Can you share with me that story?
Yeah, people think that was like the most trying time of my life a lot of the times when people ask me about it, but it really wasn't. It was, don't get it twisted, it was crazy. It was wild, but as far as my mindset, I kept my faith. I just knew that God had me there for a reason, and I just kept working. I was showering at the gym. I was doing Uber driving. I was going on my auditions for my acting. I was singing background vocals for Rita Wilson and writing songs for Disney stars like Coco Jones and things like that. So I just stayed busy. And the moments where I was in the car or in the back seat, like when there was nothing to do, I was just reflecting. I was reflecting a lot on life. And I feel like it was a great time for that, to sit with myself after a lot of things had happened to me. Growing up, I dealt with racism and molestation and a whole bunch of stuff. So just dealing and being with a single mother, so just dealing with all of that. And then finally having this moment as like a young adult to sit there in the back of my car and just like reevaluate my decisions in life. Like, it was a good thing for me. So, although it was not the easiest, it wasn't like the worst time. And I was thankful to be able to experience it with my strong, beautiful mother, who instilled in me the desire to, and the drive and the will to just keep going no matter what it looks like, because God's gonna get you through.
Awesome. What is your honest belief on the word dream versus goal? Do you have dreams, or do you have just goals?
I have dreams that transform into goals. I think every dream should not remain in your sleep. So once you have the dream, you wake the heck up and you write it down and you put it in motion. So to me, I have dreams that turn into goals.
When is it when you first started to feel like traction? Like you're living in your car, you've been over, like you said, molestation, only mother, living in your car, still living in California, showering at the gym, and sleeping in not even a hatchback but a sedan.
Right.
What instilled inside of you to defy all the odds and be like, nope, screw it. I'm Natalie Nichole. I'm going to work under Nick Cannon. I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a best-selling author. What made you go, no, the car's okay because it all makes sense. It's going to be worth it. Like, where's the...
I think it's knowing who you are. I knew at a young age that I had a story to tell even before the story began. And that's just having like a close relationship with, for me, God, for somebody else, just a higher power or whatever you want to call it, universe. I call it God. And, it's having that connection and the ability to hone in on the whispers. He whispers to you all the time and guides you in different ways. And I feel like just holding on to the promise that he gave me, I knew I was gonna make it. I didn't know exactly when. I didn't know who was gonna be a part of the process. I didn't even necessarily know all the steps. I just knew that I was going to be some sort of impact and use my gifts. And I just kept pursuing that. And I feel like if anybody is having trying times, just keep pursuing what it is that makes you, what makes you valuable, what makes you feel love, and go for it. Never stop. Don't ever stop.
Your energy is amazing, and your optimism is second to none.
Thank
So
you.
when I was I get the question a lot when I was diagnosed with dyslexia and I was told it. How did I feel when you were told we're living in a car, or we don't know if we're gonna make rent this month, or we got to move out, or I don't know how you're gonna shower this month, or we don't know if this is actually gonna work? Where were you mentally?
I'm up for any challenge. At that point, I had been through a whole bunch of stuff already to where I was like, it is what it is. I called it Pimp Out the Ride. I don't know if people know that show, but back in the day, there was a show called Pimp My Ride, and they changed cars and make them look all cool on the inside, and you could sleep in them and stuff. So like, that's what we did. I mean, we made our car livable, although it wasn't as cool as that show. It was livable, and we made the most of it. I mean, I had the best times with my mother and conversations. Me and my mom are very close. So, I took it with a grain of salt and ran with it, or drove with it, if you will, since I was in a car.
That's awesome. What is your attitude on each and every day? How do you feel when you wake up? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Go big or go home.
Love it.
Just keep going, really. I mean, goodness, there's some times where you feel tired or even down or whatever, but you got to keep going. You'll get over those hiccups, and you'll be able to take those necessary steps to be who you're supposed to be. You just got to stay consistent. That's really what it comes down to. So you got to be the person who gets up and works at it even when you don't want to fulfill your full purpose.
Did you go to college?
I did not. I was gonna. It was like supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Like your parents expected, or your siblings expected. It was, my sister went to college. It was expected of me to go too, but I was gonna go for choreography, dance choreography, and like something else, like I don't know, something dealing with the mind, psychology or something like that. But I was like, the dance part I can do without going to college, and I don't want to be in debt. I'm not the richest. At that time, I'm like, I'm not the most richest or anything like that. So I just don't want to deal with all that.
Yeah.
I'm super introverted. So like, I wasn't a partier, and I knew like a lot of people were there just to kind of hang out, in college the first couple of years. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to focus on what I knew I wanted to be. So because I knew what I wanted to be, which was a singer, songwriter, performer, and all that stuff, I wanted to pursue it my way rather than the correct way, or what people call correct. So I don't down college though. I think it's great. I might even go back one day for like psychology or something like that. It's never too late. I feel like you can always pursue anything. You're never too old to do something that you want to do.
That's awesome. What kind of student were you?
I was a really good student. I have a weird attention span. I pay attention to details, but at the same time, I get bored. So I was the person who would sit in the back of the classroom or in the front and literally zone out. I would hear everything that the teacher said, and I would finish my work so quickly, and then just start doodling or like writing a song, or that was me. I had AB honor roll all my school years. I was ahead of my class in my junior and senior year, and I don't know. And that was not trying. So I can only imagine what I could have did if I was like actually trying. I probably would have been really, really smart.
Yeah.
Because I was smart anyway.
So with kids looking up to you, and you being great in school and being very accomplished, let's talk about this.
My book.
Your book. You know,
Yeah.
being an educational show here, me writing a book with Royal. Royal, I see you in the chat. Carl, what's up?
Yeah.
That's who you wrote your book with. That's who I'm doing mine with. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Yes. I became a bestseller on my birthday. Like,
That
what?
that's huge.
Yeah, I was so excited. It was great. It was great. It was a process. It took 9 months for me to write, and 3 months to like revise and edit and get the picture for the cover and all that stuff. But so a year. It took a year to come to completion. But I couldn't be more happy with the end product. I'm about to get like the hard copies to send
Oh,
out in a couple of days. So I'm like super excited about that. I can't wait to sign them all and send them off. It's been a process, but it's been great. I'm grateful.
can you talk to us a little bit about the book, like the story inside?
Yes. So basically, I named it. It was God, the Natalie Nichole story, because to me, my whole life was God.
Yeah.
I am just a vessel. I'm just being used. I'm not like, oh, I know everything and oh, I did this. It was me, self-made. I hate when people say self-made because it's not true. You did not make yourself. You're a sum of everything that's either happened to you and or anything that's around you and God. So you're not really self-made when you really think about it. So the book is about my whole upbringing, like from birth to now. It's all the way my whole life to now, all the experiences from being molested at age of 3 to growing up without a father to being mixed race. I'm half black and half Hispanic, from dealing with racism, from dealing with a stepfather that was very abusive, from dealing with the homelessness, from being discovered by Nick Cannon, from becoming independent, and like it goes through everything. Like there's so much detail, and it's so funny because the book is thin because it's long, but like it has so much in there, and plus I'm only 27 years old, but there's a lot of gems in there, and so you can't have like this huge book that's like 3 inches big. It's thin, but it has so much jam packed in there that there's tons to learn from. Tons. I can't even.
Go buy the book, everybody.
Yes, yes, please buy it.
And comment it, put it on your story, and tag her.
Yes.
Talk to me about did you have an author that you looked up to? Like what motivated you to go, I'm going to write a book?
God. I didn't have, like, oh, this person writes so good and I want to write a book like that, or oh, I got to write a biography because my favorite singer wrote a biography. It was funny because Mariah Carey, she came out with her book the right after I was doing the Carl class, the Royal classes, Write a Legacy. And I was like, man, I was already thinking of this. How are you going to do this to me, Mariah? But how are you going to do it before me? Now I'm going to look like I'm copying you just because I love you so much. But I'm not. Because I've been wanting to write a book since I was a kid. Like I said, I wanted to write a book before I even knew that my story. I didn't even know my story yet. And I knew that God wanted me to do it. So no author that I mimicked or anything like that. I just knew I was supposed to do it, and it was time. So I executed.
Is there a musician that you look up to that really gave you your drive? Like,
Definitely. There's a few. I mean, Mariah Carey, of course. A lot of people here are similarities in my music. But Whitney Houston, Al Green. I love me some Steven Tyler, Patti LaBelle. There's a plethora of artists that have impacted me. Brian McKnight. I look up to a lot of just great vocalists and songwriters who just love to storytell, and that's what I like to do.
That's awesome. Who do you look up to at all, like as a role model or as somebody you strive to be like, or somebody there's traits that they carry that really make you go, wow, I want to do this like them, carry myself like such?
I think the only person that I would say I would want to have a similar career to is Jennifer Lopez. And not in the sense of like everything she does, just in the sense of her ability to do everything at a high level and and do it with ease. You know, she's an actor, she's a singer, she wrote a book, she can, you know, she can do, she has a perfume, she could do everything and anything, and no one's questioning it. And that's the kind of realm that I want to be in. I just want to do everything that I'm good at, great at, and execute it, and people be like, yeah, just like they are for her. Yeah. So
what is your oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, yeah, I would say her.
Awesome. What is your definition or perception on the word success? What is success to Natalie Nichole?
I feel like success is subjective, and success is whatever you make it. People like to create some weird standard, just like people say, like, oh, you have to go to college or you're not successful. You have to have a career choice. And, you know, but success to some people, like some people want to be a janitor and they literally want to be a janitor. Like, and that's fine. And some people want to work at Walmart forever, and that's fine. And then some people want to go to college and be a doctor, and that's okay. That's successful to them. You know, to me, I just want to have financial freedom and be able to do everything that I love. And that's successful to me, even if I don't have a Bentley or freaking, you know, diamonds all around my neck or anything like that. I just want to be happy and be able to provide for my family and help as many people as I can. So whatever that looks like, that's success to me. And I don't think that I'm measuring it against anybody, like anybody else. Like, I don't want anybody's chain. I don't want anybody's mansion. I don't want anybody's, you know, fancy car. Just want to be me. And that's successful in itself for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you ever try, so you're R&B artist now. Did you ever try any other genres?
Oh, yes. I released a Spanish song not too long ago. It's called Dame tu cadáver. I have country songs. I even write rock songs. I love punk music. That's what people don't know about me. I love all genres of music. I'm a wild flower. I was gonna say a flyer, but that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you wish to leave on this earth?
Just positive energy, love, giving, caring. I just want to be an influence that's memorable in the best way, not negative. I mean, of course, we all have our down days or whatever, but overall, I'm a good person, and I want people to remember my goodness and my faith and my strength to keep going no matter what life threw at me.
That's awesome. So you're an all-around entertainer, but inside of that big label, you are a musician, an actress, and a best-selling author.
Yes.
What journey did you start first? Actress, musician?
I started singing first. I was singing, man, before I could talk. So I was sitting in the back seat and singing every song on the radio in my car seat.
That's awesome.
So singing first, and then it kind of went into like dancing. I was in like talent shows and things like that, and did a lot of choreography with organizations I was a part of. And then I knew that I could write. I started writing poetry as early as 3rd grade, and then it turned into songs. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then after the songs started flowing out of me, I just didn't stop. And then in school, I did choir and theater and things like that, and started writing scripts and like skits and stuff. So all of it kind of happened, you know, throughout my adolescence, you know, from as early as 3rd grade and on. You know, it happened, I wouldn't say simultaneously, but kind of very closely together. Yeah.
So I am always afraid of not doing something better than I did last. Are you ever afraid of releasing a song that's not as good as the last, or doing an acting scene that wasn't as good as the last, or releasing maybe a next book?
In some cases, but not really, because everything is subjective in that way too. I mean, there's somebody in the world that's going to like your crappiest effort. There's somebody in the world that's going to like the thing that you did that you absolutely hate. So that, to me, I try to measure myself against myself, because you're forever evolving. And just because to somebody it might not be as good as your last, it doesn't mean it's not your best for where you are at the time. So no, I try not to do that to myself.
What would you tell a young adult who doesn't have a path but is looking for one in regards to a career and adulthood?
Learn yourself. Learn yourself. Take some time to sit down and figure out your triggers, figure out things that hurt you or haunt you or taunt you, figure out why they still hurt you, and try to find a balance to coexist with it or get over it. And it's easier said than done. Some people take years to get over things and process things. A lot of things that happened to me took 4 to 5 years to get over, but I was active about it. You have to be purposeful. You have to really want to get over the things that hurt you and learn yourself. It's an everyday choice that you have to make to better yourself. And it's a battle with your own brain, because your brain's telling you it's your fault. This was your fault that this happened. You're a bad person. You're this or that, whatever. But that's not necessarily true. So you have to fight for yourself every day. So I would tell people to sit down with yourself and figure out all your triggers and then act accordingly. Like figure out how, okay, if I'm around this type of person, I act this way, it hurts me, I can't be around this person anymore. Or when I'm in this type of situation, I do this bad thing that I don't really want to do anymore, so I can't put myself in that situation anymore. So then once you do that and you're released out into the world, you make better decisions. And then overall, anything that hits you, you have a better discernment and can navigate better and have less problems as you go.
Awesome.
So learn yourself. That's the answer.
Love it. Where do you want to be in 5 years?
I want to be in a higher level of where I'm already at. So I just want to keep going through the levels of what I'm already doing. So I'm going to continue to write books, and I'm going to continue to write songs and break records and have iTunes, chart topping songs. I've already had some. So, and have roles, TV shows or whatever. All of that's just going to continue to expand. We're doing everything that we're supposed to do, staying consistent and putting in the work. So that's the trajectory. And I'm excited for that. I see it getting bigger and bigger by the grace of God.
Awesome. So I've learned as a young adult, very young, I don't even know if I'd consider myself an adult, but I work full time and I'm growing this brand. I've learned that everything doesn't go to plan. So I usually do not stress.
Right.
What is your, and learn thing is be so flexible and just, okay, instead of stressing about it, okay, well, this is what the problem's been granted. How am I going to go and resolve it? Here are the avenues I can resolve it. How are you on like last minute changes, or, something came up and you got to change immediately? Are you good? Are you flexible? Or are you like, oh no?
I'm usually pretty good at going with the flow. I think I am even better under pressure, but I don't like being under pressure. So anybody watching, please don't pressure me. But no, I think I do well whenever things have to change. I always find something to dabble in. I mean, like even in 2020 when we all had to go into quarantine, I had an album out and I was supposed to go on like a mini tour and like promote the album, and then I couldn't. So I instead did everything virtually, automatically, booked interviews virtually, and started singing on my lives, like Zoom calls and my Instagram, and getting tips for that and things like that. So I'm a pretty innovative person. So I can usually roll with the punches, but I still get stressed though, even if it's like I still get stressed. I don't know. It's kind of like built in for me.
So I get the comment a lot. I wish I was doing what you're doing. You're going to be very successful. You're doing what you are at 20. Keep doing what you're doing. Right. I wish I was in your shoes. And that comment doesn't sit well with me. Only I understand the compliment, but the comment as them to be comparing themselves to me. I always tell people, like, don't compare yourself to me because you've got other things to offer that I can't offer.
Exactly.
And I talk to five new people a day because there's something we can all learn from it. And I can maybe pass the smile on to all five and make their days better.
Right. Like we talked about this. And I said that there's this picture that I saw online that there's like 5 different types of animals. and it said, well, because the fish can't fly, does that make it any less, valuable than the bird? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
is the bird any less valuable than the elephant because the elephant can do this and the bird can't? And is the giraffe any less valuable than the lion because the lion can do this and the giraffe can't? Everybody has something different to offer. You're absolutely right. I would tell people not to compare yourself to me. You don't know what I've been through, and you might not have the capacity to handle the things that I've handled. So don't be careful what you ask for. That's why I don't ever say, oh, I want like exactly what that person has, or oh, I want, because I do not know what that girl or guy did to get there. And they might be doing things that I don't agree with. So I don't want anything that anybody else has. I want what's mine. I want what's meant for me, period. And that's that. I would tell people, just be careful what you're asking for, because you never know what people go through. And you're valuable in your own right. Don't compare yourself to anybody else.
What have you learned connecting with me and being enlightened in what I do and my structure to my brand and dyslexia and stuff?
I've learned that anything's possible. You're a very bright guy and just so positive in your own right. I love that you turned something that seems like a stigma on people to something positive, and even like, comical. You have like sarcasm about it, like D's for dyslexia. You have personality. I think it's really dope that you're doing this and trying to, shine light on something important and motivate people. I applaud you. I've learned that you could turn anything into something great. So like I said, I applaud you. I think you're awesome.
Appreciate it. And I'm going to try to do the impossible as a dyslexic guy and write a book with Carl. And it's
not impossible. You got this. You got it.
I know. And that process has started and I'm excited. And, I saw your live with Carl when you dropped your book. And I don't know what it was about the live. I don't know if it was the energy Carl was giving and you were matching, or you were giving and Carl was matching. But, I took my lunch and I watched it.
Oh, wow.
I took lunch early to watch your live, and the energy was there. And I loved you've got like a contagious smile and attitude. And I was like, wow. And she's talking about the book and on her birthday. And I was just like, wow, like I've got to jump on this. And I remember meeting Carl that day and going, hey, because we talked about me starting a book. And I said, no, not now. And I said, hey, I want to start a book.
Yes. I'm so glad you made that decision and just went bold with it. You got to. I love that people say that my smile is contagious, because I think it's almost like built in. It's like default. Even like if I'm sad, I'm just like smiling. I don't know. I could probably curse somebody out and be smiling in the process. So I don't know. But thank you for that compliment. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed that interview as well. Carl's awesome. He's a great mentor and really helped get my book writing process on the go, because he just gives a lot of valuable information that you don't even think about when you're trying to do it by yourself. So he's a cool guy. Awesome dude.
Yes. I appreciate Royal. And how did you meet Carl?
He interviewed me. I was putting out my album that the pandemic kind of put on hold.
Yep.
And he was just interviewing me. We had a cool conversation, and then maybe like not even like 6 months later, he posted about his Write a Legacy, classes that he had about authors, and I was like, yo, I've been wanting to write a book for the longest time. Maybe he has information that could be of use to me. And it was very valuable information, and he made it so almost too easy. It was so easy to go through, like just the information he gave. It seems hard at first, because it's your first time. But like after you look back and you're like, dang, it's like 1, 2, 3. And all you needed is that guidance. So I'm so grateful for people like Carl who take the time to give that information and allow other people to execute dreams that might have taken longer to execute without their help.
I love it. What is the biggest life lesson you've ever learned and you carry every day?
Oh, life lesson?
Life lesson that you've learned and carry every day.
Ooh, that's a hard question. There's so many lessons. I can't I have so many in my brain that I pull from, throughout my life that I keep just in case I need them. Life lesson. The biggest life lesson is ultimately no matter what you do, you have to wake up with yourself. So do what makes you happy. You cannot live for anybody else. You cannot make anybody else happy. You have to choose for yourself. So that's the most important to me. Not living for validation or anything like that. Just being content with who you are and knowing who you are and valuing yourself enough to be happy in whatever really makes you happy. I think that's the biggest lesson.
That was awesome. What is to come for Natalie Nichole? What is coming up? Is there a tour? Is there more music? What is it? Hit me.
Sheesh. Okay, so there is more music to end out the year. I am planning a book tour for next year, so I'm excited about that. We are starting to perform again. We outside. I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
So my first show is in November. So I'm super excited. If anybody wants to get tickets or anything like that, and you're in the Dallas area, hit me up. All my information is usually in my story and or in my bio, link in the bio. So just, hit me up, DM me. I'll answer you. I'm super hands-on with stuff like that. I will definitely answer anything that you have, any questions. But yeah, so mini tour performing wise for music, mini book tour, of course more music, and I'll be doing a lot of auditions for my acting and stuff like that too in between all of that. So I am going to take like a small little break, but breaks for me are just like work behind the scenes. So my break will be like just zoning in and just writing a whole bunch of music and recording it, finishing it, but no one will know it. And then it'll just pop out in front of your face and you'll be like, whoa, it's a good song. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what's on the agenda for next year. I might have a couple of surprises that, I have to keep to myself, but just keep in contact and make sure you follow me on Instagram at Natalie_moment so you can keep track of everything that's happening.
I appreciate having you on. Lastly, what is the one thing you want to tell the audience to carry on with themselves?
I would just say my motto, which is give love, be loved, and be loved ofs, and keep mastering overcoming boundaries.
That is awesome. Natalie, I appreciate having you on. I think this was great because you impact many people and motivate more than you know. And that is a goal of mine to do. So I appreciate you being a part of my process.
No problem.
And making this connection with me and Carl.
Definitely. Anytime.
I appreciate it. This is Dyslexic Dylan signing off with Natalie Nichole. You guys are all beautiful. You are strong. You are intelligent. You are capable. Just do it. Wear a Nike shirt every day if that's what's got to remind you. Just do it. You guys are awesome. Shout out to L2 Web Media Group and Derek and Devron. They've hosted this today. I appreciate you guys. It was very short notice, and they killed it with the chat and everything. And thank you to everybody who's here. That is Freddie Fox. That's Royal. That is Logan, and Derek himself. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Of course. You can cut the recording, Derek.